So this is Zephyr, and I'm going to be doing the Masta challenge. It's my first video that I'll be posting up on YouTube. I had done the Masta challenge a few times before. It took me about 3 hours the first time I did it. So I make no bones about the fact that I've practiced a bit. So this first part right here is pretty straightforward. I mean, you just drive this triangle here, this pyramid, you just drive over it. And around this corner, I mean, a trick with mongoose driving for sure when you're doing these types of courses, make sure you look the direction that you want to drive. Don't worry about just turning there. You always want to make sure that you take your thumbstick and look the direction that you're turning. You'll see me back my wheels off the edge here. You'll see me do this several times throughout this course. If I need to make sure that I get enough speed in a run-up, always back your wheels off the edge first. I'll back the wheels off right there to make my turn. And then same thing right here to make this jump. And drop the wheels off the edge. And then make sure that I line it up. I'm going to gut it and just make sure I slam on the brakes. And I back it up. And I'll turn up on. And then I actually drop a wheel off the edge here, which kind of threw me off a little bit. So I had to pull forward a little more and then back up again. Now, another theme we'll see throughout here is that blue arrow that you see when you're driving your mongoose. Make sure you line that up and point it straight when you're trying to get a lot of speed, because if you have to turn your mongoose one way or the other while you're driving, it'll slow you down. So you always want to make sure you line your blue arrow up exactly where you want to go, and then you can gun it and get as much speed as you can possibly get out of it. Same thing, take that blue arrow and line it right up on the top of this grid, and then don't move it. Don't move it, just drive. So you always want to slow down a little bit right there at the end, because you can fly off there. You might catch a tire and do some weird flip and die. So this one is kind of, I mean, that's straightforward. Just kind of drive around it. This is another perfect example of where that blue arrow needs to be lined up. This rail, you'll see me. I'll drop the wheels off the edge. I'll line that perfectly, and then don't turn for any reason. Just drive straight. And then if you care about dying, make sure you slam on the brakes when you get into the checkpoint.
Checkpoint reached.
Parachuting, this is fun. It's just, again, straightforward. You jump off at the right time. And then you land on that little ramp, you slide down. I've seen a couple different things of the Masta challenge, and some of them are different. Some of them have just a little rail to land on here. As you saw there at that checkpoint, make sure you stand there long enough to get your vehicle back so you actually get the checkpoint. Don't do anything foolish and start walking out there to get your mongoose. Plus, that 10-second timer will get you. That 10-second timer obviously only lasts till that block that I just passed. These doorways, you have to go through them. If you go around them, you'll blow up. I used to try and just drive through them. Now I don't mess with that. As you can see, I got a little technique going. It takes a little bit longer. If you go for time, this probably isn't the way to do it. But if you want to live, this is a pretty surefire way to always live through it. This last doorway is probably one of the trickiest. Just make sure that you keep looking straight up and down for the most part. If you turn too far to the right, you can actually roll your mongoose. It's really frustrating.
Checkpoint.
This next checkpoint is actually my favorite checkpoint. Basically, you're just kind of riding up on these walls and then sliding down. These steep ones, there's a reason why that wall's over there. Slam into it. Sure, I mean, you might say it's cheap or whatever, but that's why they're there, and I mean, I use them. This one right here, you're just kind of making sure you don't slide down and off. So you just want to make sure that you whip that tail around to make sure that you drive up again. Same thing here, just slam into that wall. This one's pretty tricky. Used to give me a lot of trouble. Basically, you're just making sure again that your mongoose is turned parallel with it, and then you just kind of whip the tail around. Make sure you don't slide off. Just kind of work your way over there. So this part right here, I like to move all the way to the right. And again, you'll see I'll back my wheels off the edge because I want to make sure I get a good run up. Usually I die at this checkpoint, but basically you just Yeah, just like that.
Reach.
I almost die. I managed to pull it back. It's pretty close. I was having a little rejoicing moment at that time. So basically just running down, making this jump. And then this one, you still want to gun it, but you don't want to back up all the way. You kind of want to do 3/4 or something like that. If you go all the way, you'll hit the top. If you go too little, you'll catch your wheels and you won't make the jump all the way. So right here, sort of at the camera angle, I don't know what I was doing, but there's basically dropping down a tube with landmines. I've never actually had the landmines go off, but they always do. They never blow me up, though I'm always through it before they blow up.
Reach.
So this part right here, basically just dodging the landmines that are rolling down at you. I mean, pretty straightforward. Just make sure they don't actually blow you up.
Checkpoint reached.
This checkpoint, it's basically just your standard steep hill. So again, I back all the way up, I drop my wheels off the edge, and I take that blue arrow, and I point it all the way up at the top. I look at the top of the hill, so I know that I'm already lined up straight, and then I just gun it. Don't turn for anything, don't slow down, don't look around, just go until you get your wheels up over the top of that hill. And basically you're just running for this jump, and then you're going to land on that one-way shield door, which is going to bounce you into that dome. Here, these balls are locked down in the hole, so basically you're just trying to knock them out of the way. Normally this doesn't take as much work as it did, but for whatever reason on this run it just gave me trouble. So you'll see here in a second. Eventually I'll hold one of the golf balls up and let the other one roll down so that I can push it out of the way. I think this is the one that I do. Yeah, right there. I kind of hold it and let the one to the right roll down a little bit. So this time when I hit it, you'll see it'll knock it up out of the way. And then you just gotta push through it. Basically just going up to the top. You can hit this little lift. It'll take you up. And you're driving up this ramp, which is just a little bit steep, so you just need to make sure you get a good run up. Right here you're lining up the ramp. Just be aware that you're making a jump and that you need to keep control of yourself when you land on the other side. Right here, same thing, you're just kind of drifting over to the right. You need to get a little speed so you can go up. Just kind of work your way over there. This one is major drifting on the grid. I like a full run up and then just aiming it right. So right there, aimed it, and I turn, hit the one-way shield door, slide down through this gate. And you're gonna hit the man cannon, go up through this gate, go a little ways, take a left, go back down through that gate, hit the jump, land on the checkpoint. Same thing, if you care about dying, make sure you get ready to slam on the brakes. Right here, this is pretty straightforward. Sometimes at random it gives me trouble, but usually this is really straightforward. It shouldn't shouldn't spend any time trying to get past that checkpoint.
Checkpoint reached.
Now this one, they saved the best two for last, in my opinion. This is underwater driving. It's a maze, and yes, there are wrong turns. So as you're going through here, basically your first right turn, that's where you want to go. Kind of give you an idea of that I'm truly underwater. I managed to get myself turned around, so I end up backing my way through here. You'll find if you've ever driven underwater that it can really give you trouble. Just the physics are all off underwater. So I kind of back my way, kind of work sideways pretty much the whole way through it. So it's that first right turn, then your first left turn. And we get to this next spot, which is a right turn. And then you're going to go around a loop. So you drive around the loop. and you want to make sure that you're, I mean, if you're so much as drop a wheel off the edge, you're gonna blow up. You're just 1 degree away from being too far down in the water. If you haven't seen, your rear wheels actually float. So the only thing that touches are your front 2 wheels, and that's part of what makes driving underwater so difficult. If you speed up too much, basically you'll have too much momentum, and you'll end up flying off an edge. So you don't want to go too fast. Here, after you go around that loop, your next left turn, and then for some reason, I don't know if the currents are stronger here, but usually I always have to kind of maneuver a little bit more in this little section, because it always tries to knock me off over here. And after I go around the little turn, you're at a straightaway, so you'll see I just gun it. When you gun it, your back wheels come back down, and then just keep it straight, and drive up that ramp right there. Now this one right here, climbing these rocks, man, it gives me a lot of trouble. Right here I do something foolish and I flip my mongoose, which of course means you fall off your mongoose. At any point during the Master Challenge, you come off your mongoose, it's going to teleport you to that death zone, save only 2 places where you can hop off your mongoose without without dying. Right here, again, it's just giving me trouble, so I just kind of still working at it. I'm thinking, oh man, I'm going to get another foolish death. I was going to cut it out, but basically I wanted to be able to just post the whole run, start to finish. I always find that a little cheap when I'm watching videos of, like, tough maps that are solved. When they do cutaways, like, man, how long did it actually take them? Usually you can look up, if it's like a driving one, you look up their lap time, and like, man, this took them 4 hours. Which, I mean, hey, as I said, it took me 3 hours to do this the first time. But now I just wanted to post a video start to finish. So right here, the only thing that messes you up is those tree branches. When you're actually driving, they're in your way, so you don't exactly see when you're driving. So you might die once or twice, just kind of getting a feel for where to aim it. When you get up here to the top, make sure you stay on your mongoose. If you don't, you will go up, but you won't get this checkpoint right there. So if you die right here, then you'll end up spawning back down at the bottom of the hill. This spot right here, you have to shoot it perfectly straight through, and needless to say, I didn't. So me being optimistic, I think to myself, well, maybe if I gun it, maybe I'll get enough speed where I can land it still. So I come back and I back my wheels off the edge, and I go for it, and I fall just shy of the wind square. So I die, and so that makes 2 deaths. Eventually I respawn, and I give it another go. On second try, I shoot it through perfectly, and I end up falling perfectly on the wind square, which teleports me to the final checkpoint. And that is the end of the Master Challenge. Thanks for watching.